Just like everybody knew what R. Kelly was doing that was in his circle, and everybody knew what Epstein was doing, and everybody, Weinstein was doing. They know. They know. It's so commonplace. And these young ladies and young men want to be successful so bad that they'll start down this journey thinking, well, yeah, well, if I do this once or twice and when I lay up a couple of times, I'm doing it for free anyway, it'll open the door, not realizing that they're putting themselves in the cycle of death. It just spins and spins and spins and spins until it wears you out. And that's why the level of mental breakdowns and all those kind of things are high in this industry. Very, very high. Because the amount of soul selling you got to do in a lot of these cases, that's a different story. But I had somebody speak to me the other day who was an artist that I managed back in the day. And he told me, you saved me from this. And I'm like, what do you mean I saved you from this? He said, well, and a female told me it today. Another female artist said, you kept me from this stuff. You kept me from being exploited. I said, yeah, but you didn't have the success you wanted. It's like, well, if this is what it would have cost me, then I don't want it. Well, then I can sleep well at night, because I wasn't letting anybody do any crap like that to my artist. I just wasn't going to let that happen. That's just not how I'm built. And I can't take credit. I'm such a good guy. Even when I didn't know God or believe in God, God put something in me that made me say, yeah, I'm not willing to play that game to get there. And I'll say this, and I'll say this respectfully. There's a lot of people I looked up to in the industry. They had hit records and they were out there and they were traveling. They had videos, they were on TV. And I envied the fact, I was hurt in my heart that they were making it and I wasn't. And then I'm looking back at my life all these years later and what I've accomplished and what I have and the way I'm living. And I've run into them. And they're either poor, broke, dead, sick. It's sad. So to me, I'm not willing to sell my soul or sell my birthright for a morsel of bread. So, that's a whole different conversation. But let's get back to this RICO, because this is very important. I'm going to give you the definition of RICO. RICO passed in 1970, the Racketeering Influence and Corruption Organization, watch this, Act, that's what RICO is short for, Racketeering Influence and Corruption Organization, aimed to take down organized crime organizations, not to arrest Puffy, to take down organizations. Let's understand what we're reading here. Prior to this enactment of the RICO Act, prosecutors only had the ability to individually try people for crimes or mob-related crimes. A different mob member would be prosecuted for a different crime, but prosecutors could not take down the whole criminal organization at once. Pay attention to this. This is important. So what happens? The RICO Act gave prosecutors the ability to take down a whole organization at one time. However, prosecutors now use RICO in mob prosecution, but they also use it to utilize the law to prosecute everything from street gangs and politicians. So you need to understand something. So the RICO Act was created because if you bust up a syndicate or a crime organization, you had to try him for murder, you had to try him for firearms, you had to try them for alcohol, and they said we need to come up with something where we can just bring down everybody at one time. We need the ability to do that. And so they came up with the RICO Act. Now, when you talking RICO, you're talking an organization. So for them to bring Puffy in, not just for assault or the stuff that we saw in the video so far, that they don't mind that getting to the press because it has nothing to do with their case. It doesn't taint their case. I need you to understand what crimes that are involved in RICO. Watch this. Arson, and that's one of the things they hit him with, and I'm thinking that must be against blowing up the boy's car. I don't know. Bribery. They said he was reaching out to people and trying to pay them off to keep them from talking. That's one of the reasons why they're not letting him have bail. They're using that as a reason for him to not have bail. Bribery, counterfeiting, distribution of controlled substance, embezzlement, extortion, gambling, homicide, kidnapping. I guarantee you they're going to hit him with kidnapping, especially with the young girls. If they took them across straight lines, they're going to definitely hit him with kidnapping. I'm telling you that right now. mail fraud, money laundering, robbery, wire fraud, witness tampering. They definitely threw that on him. Now, we need to understand something. RICO is a major crime to put on somebody. And if this is something that he's been doing from 2008, which is what they're saying, to now, allegedly, these things are all coming together as one criminal organization. What I'm concerned about in this situation is who else is going to be brought up? A lot of people right now that was real close to him are real quiet right now. Y'all ain't talking. And I can name some names, but I won't. But you know who you are. I ain't talking about the common names, celebrity names that you would know, but you know who you are. You know who you are. And I know you're like real quiet right now, or you're already talking to the feds and giving up all the information on Puffy that you can give up. That's what you're doing. But I'm going to tell you this right now. If they only take him and they don't go after a whole organization, I got some questions. You should too. I said the same thing about R. Kelly. Well, what about the parents? And what about the people that worked with him that helped him trap these young girls? And what about only him? That was an organization. How come only one person went down? This thing is serious. And people say to me, maybe you shouldn't be saying this kind of stuff. I can say whatever I want to say because all they're going to do is try to like mock me off a conspiracy theorist. But I just read to you the law. And for them to come after him for RICO, that's serious. This is not a small trial. And I don't ever think Puffy's going to see the light of day again or for a very long time. And if the people that he may have got on those tapes are just artists and celebrities, that's different. But if he's got any key politicians and major players in the game on there, they may try to Epstein him. And that's a concern. But you play the game, you pay the price. I don't wish jail or anything like that on anybody, man. My heart goes out to him. My heart goes out to Miss Combs and his kids. Man, I don't even know what to say. I did pray for him today. I really did. But I didn't even really know how much to pray. It's like, you did this stuff, allegedly. So I just want to just give you guys my understanding, my update on this, my take on this. This is not small stuff. This is big. Well, how come they didn't do that to Cosby? Well, there's a bunch of, they said past, and it was rape, this and that, and they made it small of, individual things that he did in his house. That's not RICO. That's not taking people across state lines. That did not become like a federal charge. It stayed local. So he had a better chance, and so many years had passed. Here's the thing. I did want to say this before I get off of here. Cassie had to sign a non-disclosure. She couldn't speak. That's what she took her settlement for. She can talk now because it's feds. That's not state now. Your deal was a state. The feds, when they subpoena her, she can tell everything and it doesn't mess up her non-disclosure agreement or her confidentiality at all. It's feds now. It gets real. So anybody that's even been paid off right now are free to let the floodgates open. And that is why you don't play with the feds and you don't want to F with RICO. And I remember when 50 Cent was hanging out with Rainbow Hair Boy, and when he got charged with RICO, 50 said he changed his number. He's like, I don't want you calling me. I don't want to have no conversation. I don't want to even know you because I don't want them to hear you on the phone with me talking about nothing. I don't want to get dragged nowhere near RICO. So 50 is a smart dude because 50 from the street. He understand, like, no, you don't want that problem. So listen, I hope I gave some information. Leave some comments down there. If you have any questions, you're going to disagree with me, feel free to do so. Knock yourself out. The fact is they waited a long time to build this case, and now they're coming with a case. They're not building the case anymore. Case is built. They're going to trial. I don't think Puff is going to see the street ever again. I just don't. I hope I'm wrong. You guys take care of yourself. Stay out of trouble. You ready? Let's grow.